crazy that it took this long for someone to catch this guy, especially as reckless as he's been with sharing the material that he's been sharing. But that just goes to show you how powerful Destiny is and how scared some people are of him and his community. He's targeting mentally unstable women. This is where you get to see just how crazy this whole story devolves into. Like that.
Lately standing for what's right.
We're gonna start off with Beckett's video, Cope and Seath, who, by the way, Beckett, I'm still waiting for you to come on stream, bruh. Still waiting for you to come on stream, man. You were supposed to be a guest. What happened? Et tu, Brute? Et tu? Needless to say, Beckett, I think his video lays it out from beginning to end, timeline. Then we'll go take a look at Mr. Sundays. We got a lot of stuff to cover. Let's not wait. Let's get right into it. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, put them in the chat. Obviously, super chats get answered immediately. All right, so let's go. This is Cope and Seath's video, Destiny Predator Unmasked. Legitimate Predator this time, not a fake Predator.
Those of you who have been following Destiny in his orbit for a while may have started to notice a rift forming.
Destiny can help you with the slandering. I'd rather not.
In late November, a leak occurred which revealed, shall we say, a lot of Destiny's personal history. There has been massive speculation about the people involved in those leaks, whether the sharing of them was consensual, and people's both public and private reactions to them. What I have for you today is a breakdown of the conversation that occurred between President Sunday and Straighterade. This includes multiple DM leaks between the parties involved, and conversations of the general strategies.
All right, so just so you guys know, President Sunday is a guy who I think released some of the stuff, some of the evidence that, I don't really know how to say this, kind of nailed Destiny, but he did it without the consent of the victim, which some people have a problem with, but at the same time, apparently President Sunday's had an issue with Destiny, like a really bad issue, and he just could not. We'll watch his video. You'll get to know more about him, but if you hear the name President Sunday, he's not crazy popular. He's a huge branch of this whole story
being taken. But first, let me explain to you why I'm prepared to release these at all. When I went looking
We're just a
for
bunch
these
of flirty
DMs,
people.
having heard about them on the grapevine,
This
from
might
a
be the
couple of
best video
sources,
Beckett's
I'll be
ever
honest,
done.
what I found was two separate individuals who had received them independently. And for one of them, they were pretty far down the chain. Now, people's level of knowledge involving these leaks is debatable. Though at this point, I will say, of all the people who aren't directly involved in these events, I probably have one of the fullest pictures.
Beckett talks slow, so I'm going to speed him up a bit.
The story I want to tell you isn't really the story of Destiny. Rather, what I want to display is the machine that exists around him. Because, to be clear, that machine around him is already being exposed.
Hi everyone. So Lonabox has announced that he is quitting YouTube, and he gave a bit of an iffy answer for that. Like he said, it was in part because he was supposedly harassed and smeared by me and Hassan. But I actually found out the real reason just now, and it's that Destiny cucked him. His girlfriend cheated on him with Destiny.
And this drip feed of information is called...
Yeah, can I just say, what is wrong with these women who are hooking up with Destiny? Am I missing something here? Is he like secretly attractive to any of the girls in the audience? Because he kind of looks like a chode to me. Like he looks like, what's the best way to say it? He looks like if a gnome was tall. Yeah, he just looks like a tall gnome. He doesn't got like no body build. He got no muscle. He looks homeless half the time. Back in the day, before the whole Trump's comments happened, I used to like Destiny. I was like, oh, finally we got somebody on the left who kind of is not afraid to call it the way, it is. Until he went on his big rant about how the guy who protected his family from the gunman at the Trump rally died. And he was like, that guy deserved it. And you know what? On top of that, every other conservative at a Trump rally deserves that too. I thought that was the grossest thing I've ever heard. After that, I have nothing but just absolute disdain and disgust for Destiny. And I've never liked him since then. Kelly says, nope, when he speaks, his mouth moves left to right. He needs to brush his hair. Yes, he needs to get some luscious locks like yours truly here.
Causing so much speculation from everybody that regardless of what anybody's original intentions were, it has created more of an air of mystery, speculation, and interest than was ever needed. On November the 29th, 2024, President Sunday would reach out to Straighterade regarding the Destiny leaks and ask her to check in on Pixie.
Could be my internet
as even at that point, people were beginning to speculate that it was her in the images. They then begin discussing the situation and how best to move forward with informing Pixie, which leads to an hour-long call in which Sunday provides further context around the leaks themselves and other people Destiny may have been involved with. This also includes a conversation between Lav and Pixie, which occurred during the Mr. Girl saga, where Pixie denied sleeping with Destiny when confronted by Lav. Pixie would then go private, much to the frustration of both Sunday and Straighter Aid, both of them realizing that in some ways this was just a confirmation that it was indeed her to those who were speculating. Outside of these two, the wider rumor mill was obviously already spinning, with people reaching out to see what information or opinions other people had.
All right, sorry. I might need to go back for a minute because I was laughing at Kaylee Aesthetics' comment. She says, the mouth thing aside, effect for overusing Adderall, which Destiny 100% has to be using some type of amphetamine salt to make his jaw do this constantly. People say it's a nervous tick. Yeah, it's a nervous tick from using Adderall. Anybody who's ever done Adderall knows exactly what that jaw thing is. And then she follows up with donut operator went after his ass after laughing at the guy who died at the Trump rally. Yes. So President Sunday says, so I don't know if you're following this, but someone dumped all the sex tapes Destiny leaked on KF. I didn't look, but people are saying Pixie is in one. Maybe check on her and make sure she's okay. And then someone with S says, oh God, we'll see what's up. He's been sending these to people. He's been sending these videos to girls that he wants to bang, essentially, or guys. I guess he wants to bang too, because he swings both ways apparently. Which just kind of says that he has a sex addiction. I think Destiny has a sex addiction. This is a federal crime. This is a felony that Destiny has committed. Jamer says I can't believe he said that on Piers Morgan Uncensored. Yeah, that every time he goes on Piers Morgan, he just looks like a complete idiot. Is that mouth thing like dyskinesia? Yes, I think so. It's a side effect of Adderall and being a complete loser.
And ask her to check in on Pixie, as even at that point, people were beginning to speculate that it was her in the images.
So this is a conversation continued. President Sunday adds, it's a lot. S says, I just saw, what do I do? What if she's with her family? I don't want to send her that and then she full on panic and can't even be on her own. President Sunday says voice call, and then S says, as in, should I ask her if she can talk? And then President Sunday says, no, let's talk over voice, game plan this. KK, give me a minute. President Sunday, obviously being somebody who absolutely hates Destiny, is trying to go to bat for this Pixie girl. Could you imagine, right? And this story is going to devolve into something crazier too, because Pixie was always kind of representative of a girl that was in Destiny's circle who managed to find success in the circle without ever having to bang Destiny. And then now this comes out and now proves yet again that you have to bang Destiny to be around him as a female, which is frigging disgusting. Destiny's got to have an STD. There's no way. There's no way that guy can bang that many women or men and not get an STD. I hope that the girls have, checked and made him get tested. That's all I'm going to say.
They then begin discussing the situation and how best to move forward with informing Pixie, which leads to an hour-long call in which Sunday provides further context around the leaks themselves and other people.
So President Sunday says, no, seriously, take your time. Not a panic on my end. Yeah, you told me before. S says, okay, call me. They had a voice call that lasted an hour. President Sunday says, calling, LOL, what the F connection? And then President Sunday says, hey, I appreciate your message. Truly, none of this is your fault. Honestly, it's mine. I really, really enjoy your company. And I've never engaged with a mind like yours at the whatever. And then they start sharing stream things. But imagine being Pixie. All right, you're Pixie. You've done stuff with a guy who you believe is in secret only for your... Imagine like a time where you've been intimate with someone. Gone, out of your mind. Yeah, I was intimate with that guy that one time. It's whatever. Only for that video to come out later for the entire internet to see. How would you feel?
Destiny may have been involved with. This also includes a conversation between Lav and Pixie, which occurred during the Mr. Girl saga, where Pixie denied sleeping with
Okay, this one says, deeply unpopular woman. Why would you lie about sleeping with Steven? And then I guess Pixie's the person who responds says, you're disgusting and you're enabling a male abuser. Have fun. And then someone says, I still don't understand how he abused you, and it's because you're fucking stupid. And then they blocked. I'm assuming this was Pixie, and then blocked him. But she did outright say that she did not sleep with Destiny, which is her right. You don't have to kiss and tell with who you talk to.
Destiny when confronted by Lav. Pixie would then go private, much to the frustration of both Sunday and Straighter Aid, both of them realizing that in some ways this was just a confirmation that it was indeed her to those who were speculating. Outside of these two, the wider rumor mill was obviously already spinning, with people reaching out to see what information or opinions other people had. There's obviously the additional factor of speculation regarding what other communities may know or be referring to when they were coming across general memes or comments. These conversations would continue for several days while they discussed the reactions from the wider community and online discourse. Picking back up on December 4th, President Sunday becomes concerned with Pixie's approach and tactics, noting that that's like every wrong decision she could make, now it's
Oh, Chud Logic's Discord appeared in here.
content. The concern generally being that this was only reinforcing people's opinions that she was
we'll
the one
get
in
to
the
that,
leaks,
Mackenzie, don't
and
worry.
driving people to investigate deeper. Straighter Aid
I don't want to
describe
jump too
this
far ahead
as
because we
Sunday
still. I
preaching
want
to
to
the
approach
choir.
one thing at a time. Right now, we're laying the groundwork for all the stuff that's happened.
It was around this time
But there's
that
a lot of
Not So
victims.
Erudite would reach out to Straighter Aid. She asked how Pixie is doing, but then she asked if Pixie knew he took the video and if she consented to it being shared. I don't know why she'd even ask me that. My answer could be no on both counts, and she would not change a thing, lol. It's quite obvious that in the opinions of both Straighter Aid and Sunday, that Not So Erudite would be asking these things not out of concern for Pixie, but out of concern for Destiny. With a general feeling that regardless of what the answer was, Kyla's position wouldn't change a dot.
Here's the thing, right? The people who are in Destiny's orbiter circle, it's kind of like, think of it like Locale Live, right? How Boogie and Wings and all these other people who work for Keemstar make money from working with Keemstar. If this came out about Keemstar, people would be in a weird situation. It's like, okay, well, do I shoot myself in the foot by throwing this guy under the bus because he's helping me make money, or do I continue trying to make money? And you would be stupid if you didn't believe that people who are making a lot of money from Destiny are going to want to keep making a lot of money from Destiny, and to the point where they'll probably continue to sweep for the guy. Kelly says, it's very telling when a girl denies sleeping with a man. When that happens, it usually means that it wasn't consensual. Either that or she was completely embarrassed by it, Kaylee.
Aid does also confirm that Pixie was aware of the recording at least existing, and that it had not been created without her knowledge. The conversation moves off this topic once again at this point, to the wider subject of Hassan and the Twitch war that was occurring at the time. Though it would come up again around the first when Straighter Aid brings up Fairy Queen leaving a comment on Kyla's most recent video. Erudite seemingly had been in contact with Fairy Queen asking her to take this comment down, or at least a section of it. Though it is worth noting that Erudite is openly talking about being in contact with the victims of the leaks, and noting concern for them as the primary reason for its
Scary, the
removal.
amount of victims,
As I'd like
for
to do
real.
as little editorializing as possible here, I'll let it pass without
Hell
much
yeah,
comment.
this party
Though
just
I
keeps
would like
getting
to point
better.
out at this point
More
that
the
the leaks
merrier.
themselves
Sinercat911 gifted Valentino a membership.
Hey!
and the silence around them had become such a fascinating topic that even Wick TV seems to recognize that this is obviously becoming a content item in and of itself.
Keep that in mind. It's an interesting question. Symposium Brain for $20 says Molina recently confirmed that the sex tapes leaked by Destiny's former
Jesus Christ.
girl were shared by Destiny without her
Nice.
consent.
Good one. Nice.
Look how quickly he didn't even wait for the comment to finish. He just immediately jumped on there, which means that he knows that he does not want this getting out. He was trying to make sure that he cut off the chat so that people couldn't hear it.
Nice.
If she has no
Yes.
legal
And
recourse?
I got a whole bunch of super chats for you. Wick, ready?
Okay.
Oh, and he'd probably just ban them. He'd probably just ban them from the chat. That's it. You're scumbag, dude. You're a freaking scumbag. Straight scumbag. I don't know what else to say about it, other than this is probably some of the most degenerate behavior, some of the scummiest behavior. Mr. Open Mind, Mr. Accept everybody for who they are, Mr. Everybody's a winner. You're disgusting. You're a disgusting human being. That's how you can tell he's defensive. He always lets them finish. Then when he doesn't, you know that you hit a nerve. Yeah, he immediately was like, whoa, a good one. Yeah, a good one. I don't want to let this finish. Like he was trying to cut the guy off from finishing the super chat.
Did you not?
Wick.
Okay, fair enough.
Wick is a stinky butt. I think that's a #1 super chat.
At this point, Straighter Aid accuses Kyla of being snaky about this to President Sunday, explaining that Pixie and Kyla have been in contact, with Not So Erudite acting as a kind of liaison. It's also revealed that Dan reached out to Pixie as well. And from what Straighter Aid had heard, Dan encouraged Pixie to ask Destiny for a reasonable amount of money, as well as trying to get Pixie to persuade Steven not to sue Kiwi Farms. Straighter Aid would then provide Sunday with the DMs between Not So Erudite and Pixie, and notes Pixie's original desire for a payout somewhere in the region of $1 million. So let me take you through the conversation between Not So Erudite and Pixie. Pixie, in blue, begins by reaching out to NSC asking whether she's had a chance to talk to Steven yet. NSC responds by asking if there's anything Pixie hopes was brought up. Pixie then explains that depending on how that conversation goes depends on what her next course of action will be, particularly based on whether Destiny feels like he needs to make up or repent for his actions. Timeline-wise, Pixie...
This is where you get to see just how crazy this whole story devolves into. Like, Destiny's legit doing the Harvey Weinstein pay you to be quiet type thing. Mackenzie says Destiny is turning more and more into someone I could see Wendigoon accidentally bodying by being kind and showing forgiveness. Yeah, I mean, Wendigoon's a really nice guy, but I don't know how you forgive this. This is, like, really disgusting stuff here. I know Destiny is a powerful guy, but this is, like, this is straight illegal. Like this is like if this happened to any other streamer or any other content creator out there, they're done. They're done.
He had already spoken to Destiny in what was essentially a brief exchange of DMs. Pixie would also assure Not So Erudite that she was not a danger to herself at this time. Though a constant theme in Pixie's communications is this potential underlying risk that she may do damage to herself. Not So Erudite asks whether she can share this with Destiny, to which Pixie agrees, citing the fact she doesn't feel like he really understands her perspective, and it may be better coming from Not So Erudite.
Do you mind if I tell Destiny that you're thinking about offing yourself? Is that something we can talk about here? Yeah, go tell him. I mean, it's just, you could tell that he's targeting mentally unstable women. He's targeting mentally unstable women.
Not So Erudite pushes a little harder to work out exactly what it is that Pixie wants. She lists what she thinks are her goals. Help removing the video from online, getting the guy who hacked charged, a sense that Steven understands how in the wrong he was.
Getting the guy who hacked, right? But do we even know that this guy hacked? Because at the end of the day, you'll come to find out that Destiny was actually sending these videos, self-admittedly, in his own words, sending these videos to people if he felt like it.
And plans to prevent this from ever happening in the future. Here, Pixie clarifies. What she wants is for this to be the most expensive mistake of his life. She doesn't list a dollar amount, nor does she want to make him destitute, but
yes,
it should not be
Onision
easily
vibes,
recoverable.
for sure. I think this is actually worse than Onision, to be honest. This is really creepy, crazy. It's almost like, like a serial killer, right? Who takes pictures or has like a trophy for his conquests. I almost feel like this is his version of that. Like, how Dexter would keep the bloody sample from his victims? I feel like these videotapes are Destiny's like victim trophies.
NSE responds, my understanding was it was more a sense of rehabilitation and justice. But you have a specific thing you want now, which is for him to lose a certain amount of money. Pixie responds that she feels that unless he faces actual repercussions, will never change. Also noting that this money can be given to charity. Not So Erudite, seemingly unsure what...
Okay, Kaylee says there's a stream he did with Mel and another friend. The friend was side-eyeing him while talking about a girl he was manipulating behind the scenes. Don't remember her name, but she posted about it. Yeah, I think that we're going to... There's a lot of different stuff here that we're going to be going over. Everybody's been covering this, so more and more stuff has been coming out left and right. But we're going to take a look at Sunday's video next.
What to do with the conversation at this point, says she'll have to talk to Steven, as this request for money isn't what she was expecting. With
Yeah,
Pixie
both can be bad,
then
just
responding
different.
that what she's looking for is a general acceptance from Steven that he understands this as a potential course of action to rectify the situation, as she views this as a potential penance, which is essential, in her view, to the rehabilitation process. She goes on to explain that if Steven agrees, then great, that's an agreed course of action. But if not, then she will have to go through the court system to, as she puts it, figure this out.
She should have went to the court system in the first place. Neon Trion says there's a lot to unpack mentally with this. Yes, you ain't kidding. This is a lot. And we're only halfway through the first video we're watching in this. The new number one, this is the new number one topic for sure. Everybody's talking about this, which is, they should, because this is, if, like I said before, if anybody else did this on the internet, they would be crucified. But because it's Destiny, and Destiny has been on the internet for so long and has survived so many polarizing events, a lot of people think he's going to survive from this, but I don't see how that's possible. If you still support Destiny after he does this, I don't want to hear shit about your morals or anything like that, because you have none. To support a guy who does this, you have no morals. I mean, are we shocked though? This guy literally was saying that people deserve to be shot at a Trump rally for supporting a president, for supporting a political candidate, that you deserve to be shot. Are we shocked to find out that he's been doing some really sus things? I think not.
She goes on to note, Destiny has already alluded in DMs with her previously to financial compensation, though her concern is that he doesn't really understand the level of proportionality she is expecting from him. Kyla would then respond to tidy up the language, as in her view, it's not about punishment, it's about making sure that he is genuinely remorseful and changing his behavior. As she
I don't like this because it also makes Pixie look like she's after money instead of after true justice. She should have just went to the court systems in the first place. If you really were worried about Destiny's future victims, you should have just went to the court systems. And I agree, Kaylee, it's crazy that it took this long for someone to catch this guy, especially as reckless as he's been with sharing the material that he's been sharing. But that just goes to show you how powerful Destiny is and how scared some people are of him and his community. Wasn't Destiny on locale? Yeah, he was the one who he was one of the people who confronted Boogie. But guess what? Boogie looks like a freaking angel now compared to what this stuff going on with Destiny is.
Goes on to further clarify Pixie's position, with Pixie agreeing to the general gist. They go back and forth, with Kyla clarifying that you're not making me sad, other than like, I'm obviously sad my friend is hurting and was hurt by our other friend. Pixie makes a final clarification that Destiny needs to understand the severity of the situation, and that paying some bills, which is a reference to her previous conversation with Destiny, isn't enough. With a final clarifier from Kyla that, I think he was worried you would feel he's paying you for your silence, but did want to help, but didn't want to overstep. I think he is offering a lot more than you read it, but I totally understand why you read it that way. Back in the conversation between Streamline and Sunday, Streamline notes that Pixie was discouraged by the lawyer she was talking to from pursuing this against Steven, and this had moved Pixie to wanting to go public as she didn't feel confident in any form of legal justice.
Oh, come on. You literally have video of it. How could you not? That's a slam dunk. Just go, I'm sorry, but police officers, do you see this video? He sent it to other people. That's revenge corn, guys. Revenge corn. That's illegal too. There's so many things that he's done illegally here.
Sunday goes on to reinforce that Pixie does likely have a legal route open to her, and provides further information which Straighter Aid is to pass on to Pixie for her to consider. Sunday would then go on to ask whether there have been further conversations between Pixie and Kyla that he's not aware of. Or
Exactly,
between Pixie and
Neontrion. I
Steven.
agree.
These DMs
Should have went to court right away.
are Pixie confronting Steven and saying that she was going to write a note making it clear what happened and what her feelings were, while emphasizing Steven's contribution to her current state of mind. Destiny then goes on to reassure her that she has a lot of life ahead of her, and that these leaks would pass given time.
Oh, hang on. I want to read this real quick because
While emphasizing Steven's contribution to her current state of mind. Destiny.
I just want you guys to hear the verbiage that Destiny is using to try to, like, there's a lot of devil in the details. So Destiny says, I feel like, so this is after he had a conversation with Pixie, who was talking about unaliving herself. Destiny says, I feel like it's hard for me to give you advice since I'm obviously implicated in everything, but I would still say some of the following things. One, things die out surprisingly fast. There might always be a couple of random losers online. Yeah, because we're losers. We're losers for wanting you to be accountable for the things you've done to people. There might be a couple losers online who still want to bring up the horrible things you've done in the past, but let them go. You know, they're nobodies. What a total joke. This should put you in the mindset of just how egotistical Destiny actually is. And outside of some losers on Kiwi farms and some irrelevant content people who will fade away in a year or two, inevitably stuff fades away. This ain't fading away, bro. This ain't going nowhere. As long as people keep talking about it, you're never getting out from this one, bro. Yeah, we suck because we want to know more. No, he's basically saying we suck because we'll bring it up again. The next time he wants to go on a political rant about how horrible someone is or how horrible Trump is, and then someone goes, yeah, but weren't you illegally recording girls that you were sleeping with? That's stupid. Why would you bring that up now? Because it's freaking disgusting and should show you what kind of person you are. This will never leave that girl trust. No, yeah, I agree. This and Pixie's gonna think of this forever. She is in a Corno video with Destiny. Freaking gross. But continuing on where I left off, there are people who will be who were big online a few years ago that people can barely even find traces of anymore. Stefan Molyneux is a good example. I don't know why what they need to bring that up. Who cares about someone's relevancy? It's like what you've done is disgusting, and whether or not people forget about it is irrelevant to this story. Two, you still have every legal option available to you. You can always pursue stuff, and there are special civil and criminal protections that even shield your name from being released. You can always do free consultations with litigation firms to check with stuff like that. For obvious reasons, you should take things I'm saying with a grain of salt and pursue and check out all of the things on your own. Basically, I wouldn't, take what I say with a grain of salt, but you could sue my ass if you wanted to. 3, you have accomplished and done a ton of things in the past couple of years. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. When I met you a few years ago, you were yo-yoing like crazy between ultra-suicidal ideations, thoughts, and being hung up on a weird guy. Really? that guy's weird. That you hung up on a weird guy, and then you end up, yeah, I think she's hung up on the wrong weird guy, bro. And feeling aimless after getting your college degrees, but you've done a ton of work this year with PV, moved to and survived in Miami all on your own, branched out into new content areas and made new friends across new communities. It would be super shitty to not follow through for a couple more years at least and see where you could continue to push things. This is like, this is true gaslighting, guys. This is truly, it's just straight gaslighting, guys. That's all it is. Oh, you could sue me, that's always an option. I mean, people aren't going to remember this forever, so I wouldn't really worry about it. That's what he's essentially saying is, you couldn't really worry about it, but I would maybe hold off, maybe 7 years, I'd say. Give a good 7 years. It's like Kaylee says, not true. There's a limitation of time where you could report these things. Exactly. That's why he was probably saying, I would wait a couple of years. See, because if she were to come out with this in a couple of years, nobody's going to believe her. This is exactly what this friggin' jackass is doing, guys. He's trying to make sure this girl doesn't come out with this for at least a couple years so that maybe he can be like, Your Honor, look, this happened a couple years ago. I don't know what's up with this crazy broad. That's essentially what he's trying to do here.
He then goes on to reassure her that she has a lot of life ahead of her and that these leaks would pass given time. Finally, Destiny makes an offer that if she requires any help with any bills or anything, then to let him know so he can provide assistance, and it's one less thing for her to concern herself with.
Oh, are you struggling with money? It just so happens I have a lot of it. I'm sure that times are tight for you right now. Pixie, what if all your bills magically disappeared? Would that make you feel better? Would that make you not want to sue me? I know I'd feel a lot better if I gave you a crap load of money, right? Right? Take the money. You know you want it.
Straight Raid goes on to share some DMs from Pixie in which she laments the difficulty a legal case would present, at one point suggesting that in frustration she may get the same lawyer who works for Kiwi Farms. Conversation between Straight Raid and Sunday once again returns to the general topic of the leaks for several days until the 8th of January, where Straight Raid would share a copy of Pixie's statement regarding these leaks, in which she states that the sharing of these images was non-consensual, and to her knowledge, she is the third person this has happened to.
I'm going to read this real quick, but I got it. On November 29th, I learned that the streamer Destiny had non-consensually shared pornographic online content of me. My dignity, peace of mind, and hopes for my future were stripped away in a mere matter of seconds, following the betrayal of someone I previously trusted. Let me be clear, I am the third person he has done this to. I hope to be the last. I will not be commenting on the experience of the other women he has hurt, as it is not my place or story to tell. I will, however, share my story in the hopes of preventing this from occurring again. I have known Destiny for around 5 to 6 years now, and often find myself in heavy disagreement with him. Despite this, I do my best to see the positive sides of all people. Oh, honey. Oh, you sweet summer child. Trying my hardest to spread positivity and create understanding where I can. Some people call this fault of mine. No, this is not your fault. I don't care. And I'm not like a feminist type of guy, but there's no way this girl could say, nobody could say this is this girl's fault. Nobody. All right. She's not the first girl in the history of the world to sleep with a guy who had a little bit of power, Why the hell so many people I know. I don't know, DSB. I wish that this wasn't the case. I mean, I'm not surprised to see this come out about Destiny though. Some people call this a fault of mine. Obviously that's not true. I said that's not in this thing. They claim I am naive and should be more careful. Those people are right. You were manipulated and taken advantage of by someone. That's all this is. And anybody who sits there and says this is Pixie's fault, you're a disgusting human piece of shit, basically. You're a disgusting human being if you think this is Pixie's fault. When I was 20, over 5 years ago, I was extremely sexually inexperienced and sheltered. I wanted to sexually experiment, but was terrified that I'd somehow lead someone on or experience SA. Destiny, who I had multiple long conversations with regarding consent and boundaries, seemed like someone I could put my trust in regards into this avenue. It's always those ones, girls. Always be very careful of the guys that are constantly preaching how much they care about female rights or how they're so proud of empowered women. Guarantee they're the guys you gotta watch out for, because they're the ones who are gonna manipulate the shit out of you by trying to give you that false sense of security so that they can be as creepy or, as Mackenzie says, snaky as hell. Trying to be like, I'm still on your team, Pixie. I'm still on your team. You can sue me if you want, but I'm still on your team and I think you got a bright future.
The timeline she provides is that this encounter occurred fairly early on in her online career.
I don't know. Sarah says he ain't cute. Why does he think he poke anyone he wants? I don't know how the fuck he got Melina. Melina looks like a supermodel. I don't know how he did that. Oh, I know how, because he's rich. That's how. Victim blaming is still being used by defense attorneys. Yeah, because that's the only defense they really got, I guess. I don't see how anybody could get Destiny out of this one. I have an inkling for people who will play the system. This situation, though, feels a lot more genuine to me. I feel like this girl truly went through this. And especially since you could point out multiple victims that this has happened to with Destiny. Says everything you need to know.
She also cites how she would pursue him in court, and that this would be a civil action. As this was clearly prepared for publication, she also notes her GoFundMe, and the fact that such a case would cost money and would need wider public support. She also, at least to some degree, verifies Straighter Aid's earlier comments regarding Dan Saltzman.
I've been told the payout might not be worth the harassment and attention I will receive. In an ideal world, I would do this privately, but have been told there is no realistic way the court will grant me anonymity. This seems like my only option is public. I have been told by a variety of people to not go public, most notably Destiny's anti-Twitch crusader Dan Saltman. I have been told by some people that Steven really does feel sorry. He feels so sorry, guys. He's so sorry, but I'm not inclined to believe them. He's only sorry he's caught. He's sorry he got caught and that he didn't manipulate people as well as he thought he did, especially taking into consideration his actions regarding me. Regardless, what Destiny did is unacceptable, and I believe he will do this again unless it faces... He would 100% do that again. He will 100%. Dan's the guy who does that other stream with him, right? Terrible, terrible shit.
Noting, I have been told by a variety of people to not go
that.
public, most notably Destiny's anti-Twitch crusader, Dan Saltzman. Finally, she leaves off noting that...
Oh, no, that was
Destiny
her. Okay, that was her. I just wanted to make that sure.
...has violated federal law in his transgressions against me. He has violated my consent and is directly responsible for the sexual abuse I have received. When pressed on the release schedule of this statement, Straighter Aid shares a DM between herself and Pixie, where Pixie clarifies that she wants to talk to her lawyer first and send a demand letter, and based on his response to said letter, release it. I originally wanted to do it by next week, but seems unlikely. On January the 10th, President Sunday would approach Straighter Aid asking if there was any updates on the situation. She responded that she hadn't heard anything else, and she speculates that Pixie at this point may be annoyed with her and just simply ignoring the messages. Though she assures Sunday that had Pixie taken the payoff, she would have been informed. It would then be on the 16th of January where Straighter Aid would once again reach out to Sunday, asking him whether he was aware of Lonabox's stream, in which Lonabox stated his intention to take a break from streaming, but more importantly, alluded to what happened.
It's a little bit frustrating that the psycho smear campaign against me has kind of succeeded, and it's basically all because of Hassan being willing to platform it, which is very annoying that you basically have to like suffer the consequences of someone else's stupidity. But
yes, and when it comes to Hassan, there's no lack of stupidity there.
Is what it is. Someone else's failures as a human being. But that's not why I'm taking a break. That's just annoying. And it's something that I'll probably be able to work around by myself.
Within this live, Lonabox notes his frustrations with Hassan, but points out that the Israel-Palestine discourse and how he's being treated in regard to that content isn't his reason for leaving. The further illusions come when people bring up Destiny to him in his chat.
You've got Tiny to back you up, both. You make quite the team when you're together. No. What do you mean stop streaming? I'm not going to stop like forever. I just need some... It doesn't matter. I just need a bit of a break. What was the catalyst for that decision? Can't really go into detail. It's been a few things. Have you just not been enjoying streaming? I mean, I like streaming. I just there's just a lot of things surrounding the whole thing that's making it. It's just making me need to step back for a minute and reassess what I want to do going forward. Is it the IP discourse? Nope.
Lonabox's obvious discomfort around the topic of Destiny led to what I can only describe as a cascading series of events where people began to realize that this once contained story was not going to be contained for much longer. And it has not taken long for even people such as Hassan to start reacting to this news.
Okay, so what's interesting is Bad Event correct himself. It's not cheating, but that she had denied previously sleeping with him and then was in the leaks. Oh, okay. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense. So Bonerbox starts dating a Destiny Orbiter. The Destiny Orbiter tells Bonerbox, I never had sex with Destiny. And then Destiny, in the endless interest of like trying to fuck, e-girls that are in his DMs, sends his entire library of content that he filmed with his ex-wife, which I'm sure his ex-wife is not fully on board with. I would suspect that if you were Destiny's ex-wife, you probably aren't very happy about like videos of you guys having sex being distributed to random people.
No, I don't imagine anybody would be okay with that. Even though Melina tends to lean towards sexualized content, Like if you follow her channel, she definitely likes to mess with the boys and uses that to her advantage. But yeah, I mean, she would, if she wanted that out there, she would just start an OnlyFans.
Including, you know, many other people. And that person that he sent it to, their friend, I think, leaked all of those videos and made it viral. And one of them was even Destiny, like, sucking a penis. And that's where the whole, like, the Destiny suck off Nick Fuentes drama comes from. But ultimately, what ended up happening is, I guess that's when Bonerbox found out that his girlfriend had actually lied to him, maybe. I don't know.
Given the nature of the developing situation, President Sunday suggests having a call with Straight Ray.
Yeah, one super rare Hassan W. Even he can't look past the terribleness of this.
To explain to her that at the very least,
but he
Pixie's
hates
involvement
Destiny.
is now public discourse. And most pressingly, that the conversation between Pixie and Erudite had leaked to a wide range of people. Sunday, for his part, had been approached for a conversation by another content creator regarding these leaks, as people were beginning to try and work out how much information everyone else was holding. They begin going back and forth, discussing who the leaker of the leaks may be, though honestly, looking through it, it's sort of an elementary question at this point. But we do get one more interesting detail, and that's the fact that Straighterade had been discussing all of this with Destiny throughout this period. In fact, it was Straighterade who suggested to Steven compensation. Sunday asks, but given that your impulse is to try and find a mole, I'm going to assume that what they said is accurate. You suggested Steven pay for Pixie's law school. Straighterade responds, this was one of my few suggestions. I said that she's in a precarious financial situation, that she's not consulted her therapist, and that therapy bills or payments to assist with law school would be money that would be productive to her because it's something to look forward to.
Jesus.
She refuses to tell her family, and things were breaking down with Lona, and I felt overwhelmed being one of I don't know how many people she let into a limited support network. What follows in these DMs is essentially Sunday emphasizing the situation to Straighterade.
President Sunday, and this is, do you understand that this is being seen as you assisting in blackmailing someone? Yes, this is 100% Straighterade trying to sweep for Destiny, being like, you should take Destiny's money because you wouldn't want this getting out. Just think of all the things that money can do for you. It sounds like the government trying to shake down someone, like a Russian double agent, trying to be like, come on our side. Just think of all the lucrative things that you could buy. This mansion, these cars. Just think of how far that money can send you. And what Straighterade's kind of gross. I don't know much about her, but this seems pretty gross that she's trying to like get her to accept Destiny's money so that it won't go public, which is going to explain why President Sunday does what he does next.
At time of recording, Bad Empanada has come out with a video titled, Destiny is a sex criminal, shed porn of multiple people without consent.
Wow,
the
in the title.
spiraling situation is what led to Sunday coming to me. He was aware already that I'd been looking for these DMs, and was aware at the very least of their existence. Because he wanted to provide a fuller context for them, rather than just me releasing them in a tweet, he offered this wider conversation with Straighterade, hoping it could help fill in any blanks, along with any outstanding leaks or information which I may not have. I've attempted to present this information with as little bias as possible. I really just want to provide you with a wider context for what has been happening within the DGG machine. I personally never sought out the Destiny leaks. I have now read more of Destiny's Kiwi Farm page than I ever wanted to. And while, if I'm being frank, I'm not surprised or stunned or shocked by the leaks. I'm not a Destiny fan and never have been, but I've never hated the guy either. Unfortunately for me, this story is one that is basically impossible to ignore. It has been fascinating watching people dance around this topic. And at least for me, this is the part of the story that I wanted to know about. I'm not an accountability channel. I frankly don't care to be.
Oh, you kind of are, though, Beckett. You're kind of an accountability channel. You call out a lot of people for terrible things, right? You do that. Mackenzie says, it's really sad to see that the Hollywood quid pro quo culture has spread to the internet, but on the bright side, it seems these things don't stay secret near as long. Turkey Tom put out a video too about this. Augie RFC did a 5-hour stream. Oh man, there's just so much stuff to go through here. This isn't, so we didn't get to Nicholas Durio stuff yet, but he gets involved in this too. Where is the President Sunday video? I know there's gotta be, I'll just go to the President Sunday's page from here and try to go to the Destiny video. And then we'll get to the Nicholas Durio stuff.
President Sunday.
There's just so much stuff. Here it is, the Destiny abuse machine.
In this video, I'm going to tell you a story about a man. It's a story that has been replicated over and over.
I'd hardly call him a man.
Over
That, okay.
in
I already read
government,
that.
in show business, in business boardrooms, restaurant franchises. This time, it's about a man with a small social media empire on YouTube. A man who uses his clout and his fame to lure mentally and financially vulnerable women from his community into sexual encounters which he records and then, without their consent, shares with others. It's about how that man developed such a stranglehold over his community that no one, no matter how disgusted they are, will dare call him out for this, even when it becomes public knowledge.
Now, Augie did complain, saying that President Sunday is saying that people are afraid of Destiny, which obviously we're not. I'm leaning right into this. But I think that what President Sunday was saying is that anybody who's in Destiny's community is afraid to speak up because they don't want to be kicked out of the community. That's essentially what he's saying, which I think is true. If you're deep in that community, that DGG community, you might not want to speak up because these are your friends. These are the people you've gotten to know. And not many people are going to quickly point out, people will go out, take a bullet for Destiny in that community, which is sad to see.
And most importantly, this is a story about power and how normal human feelings can be contorted to serve a machine to make a man immune to the effects of the abuse he has inflicted on an astonishing number of people.
Absolutely.
Stephen Bennell II, or as he's known online, Destiny, is a highly successful political streamer and content creator who has garnered infamy not just for public outbursts and controversial political positions, but also for an impressive number of public threats, sexual scandals, and even outright criminal actions. This recently culminated on November 29th of 2024, when an anonymous Discord and Kiwi Farms user going by the name Solo Leaks published a large repository of private messages and pornographic
It's about to be a very white Christmas. Oh my God.
Images and videos of Destiny with various men and women to Discord and Kiwi Farms, recordings that Destiny had shared to strangers without the consent of the people in them. It's important to note that this is not the first time that Destiny has been the subject of a large sexual scandal involving non-consensually leaked intimate material. All the way back in 2012, Destiny was caught up in a scandal involving a competitive StarCraft 2 player called Blue T, who had tweeted out a photo of his genitals. This was in retaliation for Destiny previously leaking nude images of her to his friends.
They'll say, I'll come out and say this is Blue T. I really have nothing to lose. Long story short, Destiny leaked nude pictures of me to his Skype friends. He then joked about how effing hideous my face is compared to my beautiful body. Then joked about how I look like Shrek. I do have a big nose, I guess. Dude, what a piece of shit, dude. You guys will rarely hear me call people on it like hideous or say something like that about someone. Mackenzie says, I said this before. I'll say I'll be shocked if or ABBA and Preach put out a cope video the way that they did with Destiny's tasteless jokes about the attempt on Trump. Yeah, I hope not. That would be bad for them if they did that, because I don't see how anybody can justify this. If you justify this, then someone needs to subpoena your phone immediately, because that means you're into some really terrible shit. That's because who was it? Preach got to bang Melina. He's probably grateful to him for that.
Friends on Skype, wherein he laughed at how quote-unquote fucking hideous her face was compared to her quote-unquote beautiful body. In 2021, Destiny had a romantic entanglement with a YouTube streamer named Anna Voir. Anna would go on to become known for insisting, often tearfully, that she was actually in a long-term romantic relationship with Destiny, which Destiny denied, painting her as crazy to his audience. It was later revealed that in fact, while Destiny was insisting to his audience that Anna was insane, he was actually sexting her the entire time and referring to her with terms such as princess in their conversation.
Oh, you're a TwitchCon? Are you allowed to go in and be with Melina, or do they not let you because you're banned? Destiny says, nah, just hanging out with people and going to parties. Why do you think Destiny's going to them parties? Probably to go and be like, I'll trade you Melina for whoever you got there. Oh my God, dude, this guy. Oh, them Twitch parties have a bad rep. Damn, guess I should have gone to TwitchCon after all. Destiny, OMG, sneaking off to a room with you, slobber face. Oh my God, I cannot stand this guy. Can someone set up a boxing match with me and Destiny, please? Please, Destiny, I would love to box you. I'm just putting it out there. I will avenge these e-girls.
Anna threatened to post these sexually charged texts to prove that she wasn't crazy and that this was all actually taking place. And in retaliation, Destiny threatened in public to leak her nude photos if she did so.
Wow.
Like if you and I had sexted or something, or traded nudes, and you were like, I'm gonna leak your nudes, and I go, fuck you, if you leak my nudes, I'm gonna leak your nudes. Is that blackmail, or is that abusive? I disagree.
So do you think that leaking sexting and leaking nudes is proportional, or do you think it's a proportional response in the way that you're reacting to them?
I think it's about proportional. Or if you're leaking sexual material and shit from another person. Yeah, fuck it, I think it's proportional.
Destiny has also at least...
Yeah, that's so super demented. Why in God's green earth would anybody ever be like, you know what I think I want to talk about? If you tell me that I'm gonna leak nudes, I'm gonna... Hey, yo, what's up, Tipster? We're just talking about the Destiny stuff right now, which is absolutely insane. Kaylee says, I get to go to the ring after Yeah, you could be my corner man, Kaylee. Get out there and be like, you're whooping them up. Just keep doing your thing. Watch for the right jab. Make sure you stick and move. Although I don't think Destiny would probably get out of the first round with me, if I'm being honest. Mackenzie says, iDubbbz has been floating around the idea of Creator Clash 3, EG versus Destiny. Let's make it happen. I don't think I'm big enough. And I'm pretty sure there'd be a long line of people who would like to box him. But and then, by the way, that's Destiny's ex-wife right there. Yeah, I don't know how that ever happened. But I do get he's got lots of money. Thank you again, Tipster, for coming by the chat, bro. If you ever want to, if you ever want to come on and chat, I know you don't do the drama stuff anymore, but you're always welcome to come in here. But like, she's gorgeous. Like, how is he totally okay with her just going and sleeping with other men? I don't get it. I could never imagine being like, go ahead, Miss Lately, YOLO. It just, I don't know. It just makes no sense to me.
At least once admitted to accidentally sending homemade videos of him and his wife to people who his wife did not in advance approve of, in accordance with a previous agreement that he wouldn't.
Me and Melina had a conversation about, there were a few girls we talked to, was like, oh cool, like we should record videos of like us fucking shit and send it to people, like it's fun. I kind of like have like my little archive of like Coomer material that I'll send to people if I want to. There were girls that I talked to past that I'd send stuff of like either me or me and Melina, and Melina talked to me and she was like, hey, if you're gonna send any videos to new girls that we haven't talked about, like let me know that first.
Oh, what? Are you kidding me? That is it? That's the smoking gun. That is all you need right there. That is it right there. Oh yeah, Melina pulled me aside and was like, hey, can you maybe not send videos of me and you to strangers that I haven't met? Tippy says, must be pretty easy when he himself was smashing with half of the women on Twitch. Yeah, true, Tipster. In a typical situation, Melina sleeps with 10 times more men than Destiny gets to sleep with women. But I guess since Destiny was sleeping with men and women, I guess it all evens out at the end of the day. But you're right. He did have apparently an army of e-girls. This story inherently is probably one of the craziest stories I've ever heard. And we're talking about 2024, which was a crazy year for drama. Now we're talking about one of the biggest streamers, literally recording women that he's sleeping with, sending it to other people. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like, would this not be like, this would destroy anybody else? If Destiny continues to have a career after this, then I don't think there's anything that could get him stopped, to be honest with you. Who would ever want to see that guy up close? I don't know, Daniel's crew. I guess someone does.
Because she wanted to be careful. It's like, oh, okay, sure.
But again, like he said right there, I have a plethora of videos of like basically a stash of homemade corn videos that I have, some with me and other girls, some with me and my wife. But what even started this conversation that led him to be like, yeah, but then Melina pulled me aside and was like, hey, you know what? Can you not send our videos to girls that I haven't approved? Like, dude, this is crazy, dude. Some people just live like the craziest lives, man. Some people just live like the most absolute insane lives. Whenever I see Destiny, I always think, dude, just brush your hair with how he looks half the time. Yeah, it's like he has like that crazy prayers for his son. I can't imagine that he's going through it. Yeah, I saw on Augie RFC earlier, they said that Destiny's son reacts to some of the drama that Destiny's in as part of his YouTube channel. His 13-year-old son. Could you imagine? Like, if my daughter started reacting to my dramas, which I don't have any because I'm pretty, normal guy and I don't really get myself involved in these weird, crazy situations. I usually talk about them. I'd be like, first off, stop. What are you doing? Secondly, you shouldn't be talking about that. You're 13.
That's fine. I didn't think about it at the time because I didn't think it mattered. But for the first thing, like, okay, yeah, I should have like checked 100% with Melina. But like this.
Other examples of threats and sexual misconduct made by Destiny are plentiful, but the general point is this. Destiny has a very bad history when it comes to sharing intimate material of people that he is sexually involved with without their consent, and of using the threat of their release to keep people in line.
Wow.
If this brings a certain Diddy to mind, you are not alone.
Yeah.
Like with Diddy, when people speak out about Destiny's misconduct, the responses vary from silence to dismissal.
Yeah, look, this was a huge... I remember when she came out with this video, Brittany Simon, when she released this, like, I was like, damn, this is like, she's calling out Destiny, this will probably be everywhere. Nobody covered it. Because you know what the sad thing is that he literally is in a different thing every week. Except this time, I think that this is some serious stuff. This is seriously bad, what we're talking about this time. This isn't like him just being a misogynist or whatever. This is him being like seriously disgusting, seriously criminal behavior.
2 outright threats of exposing their intimate information and media.
Oh, that's the girl that was side-eyed. Brittany Simon was the girl that was side-eyeing him on his own stream. I saw Brittany Simon's video and I wanted to do a reaction to it, but I think something else happened at the time and I ended up covering that instead. But I did want to come back to this. But then again, people just tend to let Destiny get away with anything because at this point, it's like Hassan. You just expect him to be a piece of shit, you know?
Unlike with Diddy, these aren't just allegations. We have the receipts. In 2023, Destiny's wife Melina publicly separated from him. In response,
Good
Destiny
for you,
went on
girl.
stream and indicated multiple times that he was confident that Melina would not leak any unsavory details about the relationship to the public because he too had compromised
Look at her. That is what money can get you, guys. That is what money and fame can get you.
information on her and logs that would seriously harm Melina's reputation if they were revealed. Whereas, since his reputation around relationships was already so low, he would be effectively immune to the consequences.
Why do you think that she isn't going to leak or talk shit? Melina will not leak or talk shit about any of this because she knows that everything about this makes her look like a f***ing satanic demon. She knows that.
Does it though, Destiny? Does it? Because right now you look like probably one of the most psychotic human beings on the entire internet.
She's threatened it a million times, like, I'm gonna start leaking everything. Oh, yeah, let's go. Okay, if you really want to, holy f, because my reputation is already zero in regards to our relationship. Everything thinks I'm a horrible piece of shit.
Now your reputation's just zero in regards to everything.
We want to start leaking shit, we can do it.
Fast forward to November 2024. Due to the solo leaks, it has come to light that Destiny has been sharing intimate private messages, nude images, and pornographic videos with a 19-year-old.
Kaylee says he lied and said they divorced so he could afford her cancer medication. F him, yes.
Rose, who he was sexually interested in at the time. Rose leaked these to a
And
Discord and
young
Kiwi
Neil
Farms user
Gaiman.
called Solo Leaks, who may, for all we know, be Rose herself, who then published them to Discord and to Kiwi Farms. These leaks included intimate romantic and sexual DMs between Destiny and Lauren Southern, who Destiny had long denied being romantically involved with while she became increasingly...
Okay, this is what you were talking about earlier, the Lauren Southern stuff. That's why I didn't bring it up, because I know that it was going to get brought up later. So Lauren Southern's a conservative voice, I guess. Got wrapped up into some Russia weird stuff they hang. I don't know, maybe Tipster knows more about that than me. But needless to say, it's bad. It's bad.
Increasingly present in his public personal life and on stream, despite being publicly at odds with each other politically on the surface. Destiny even once described her activism as involving, quote-unquote, drowning refugees. These DMs revealed that, in fact, Destiny and Lauren Southern had been mutually declaring their love and admiration for each other, including expressing intentions to separate.
Oh my god, I gotta read this. I know Lauren Southern is a pretty girl, but I don't think she could touch Melina. So Lauren Southern says, you're basically asking if you can argue me out of this, and I feel like I'm setting myself up for failure if I say yes. Like, ooh, excuse me, I burped. Like, obviously I chose you. I wanted to be with you. I would have never gone on another date if that's what you wanted. You've been super transparent about not wanting the same things I do in life. That's heartbreaking because obviously we have something incredibly special. Who the f talks like this? I mean, I guess dating, though. I haven't dated in a while, so maybe this is how people talk, but... And keep in mind, Destiny's married at this point to Melina, who is a keeper and a half, and he's sitting here just, like, ready to end it all to go be with Lauren, who's a conservative, who he apparently thinks should take a bullet, well, at least was a conservative, according to the chat. I really appreciate your honesty, though, because I'm not just making decisions for myself, I'm making them for Brock, too, her son. I'm, like, only a few weeks into regular, normal people dating, so I don't think I could say my mind is set on anything, but I also don't want to ever be dishonest about your intentions and limitations within your relationships because you want to keep what we have. I'm not going anywhere. You're always going to be a part of my life, I hope. Oh, well, we saw how that happened. That didn't end well. That didn't happen. I just don't really know what things are going to look like going forward while I'm trying my best to be respectful and hold my values with people I date to try to give healthy relationships their best shot. Guys, this guy was married at the time he was doing this. Now, I know exactly what this is. This is not him being in love with Lauren. This is him not wanting Lauren to sleep with other guys while he gets to sleep with other girls. That's all this is. That's all it comes down to. Sounds like she's into romantic drama. Yeah, it sounds like they're like they're trying to make this more interesting than it actually is. But this is, like I said before, this is just simply Destiny not wanting Lauren to sleep with other guys, aka like a Chad or someone that's like an attractive male while Destiny is off sleeping with other women. I think that's all it comes down to. But yet he's totally okay with Melina doing it.
Separate from the respective partners to marry
Who's the one you probably wouldn't want doing that stuff?
each other. All of this was happening behind the scenes despite Destiny publicly claiming to his audience that he and Lauren were not involved, and while he was publicly accusing his wife Melina of lying and of being controlling privately when she would express displeasure about the relationship and when she requested that Destiny stop associating with Southern. In addition to these leaks, which not only severely compromised Lauren Southern's career and personal life, but also established that Destiny was lying when he...
Oh, you've got the most incredible mind I've ever met. I know you're going to be just fine no matter what happens, Destiny. Destiny. Yeah, I will be. That's because I'm just that amazing. But I still want and I need you. I want and I need you. I feel a song coming on, guys. I feel a song coming on. Oh, we need to sing about this. Oh my. Guys, this song goes out to Destiny and Lauren Southern. A love that never really made it to where it needed to be. You've got the most incredible mind I've ever known. Yeah, baby. I know I do. I'm Destiny. I got a beautiful wife, and I don't love her. Lauren and Destiny on a date. No one knows why they're dating. Destiny and Lauren on a date. While Melina's home banging, preach. ABBA on the side, running with his eyes, 'cause he's not invited to bang Melina. So he just sits and plays with his wang. You've got the most incredible mind I've ever seen. I don't wanna be mean. And Destiny likes men too, 'cause he's greedy just like me and just like you. The most incredible mind I've ever known. Does this sound good, Brock, my son? I've been dating for like 2 minutes and I'm ready to dedicate my whole life to some schmuck. Lauren Southern, what do you thinking? Destiny's not even attractive. Do you want to get filmed in your skivvies? I don't think so. I don't think so. I need to know what the hell's wrong with you women who want to sleep with Destiny. I don't really get it. I'm not really forget it. I don't know what to say. This story is just great. Destiny might actually be gay. At least he likes men too. Yeah, I don't know. That was a weird one. That was a weird one, guys. I don't know what came over me there. I felt a song, and I needed to do it. I felt a song coming on. You know? You've got the most incredible mind I've ever met. You've got the most incredible mind I've ever met. No, he doesn't. He's just like so super egotistical. All right, let's keep going.
Accused his wife of being delusional and controlling about the affair. Solo Leaks also published a massive dump of revenge pornography, which featured various sexual encounters with numerous men and women that Destiny
one
had
single
recorded and
tear.
sent
That song just gets one single tear, and then that's it.
to Rose as part of their flirtations, which incidentally include references to how he recorded other people.
How's your oh my God. This is how sexting always starts. How's your sex life at the moment? Because they want to know, are you banging? And if not, do you want to talk about it? Do you want to get a little frisky?
The dump, including a recording of a sexual encounter with someone he met on the gay dating app Grindr with no mention of having alerted.
Yeah, DSP says, your brain is so friggin' sezzy. It's so sezzy, baby. Destiny. Pretty okays. My sex life's pretty okays. Mel is out tonight with her sister doing stuff, so I went downstairs and sucked off some guy on Grindr. I recorded the audio, but that's great, but still fun. What are you just sending these? What are you sending? I recorded the audio. This guy is sick. This guy is freaking sick. Do you want to hear? I hit record real quick before I started to. I'm living in a Twilight Zone, guys. Destiny's new album coming out soon. Somebody that I used to play. Somebody that I used to blow. You didn't have to cut me off. I was recording the whole session, don't you remember? But you didn't know that, no. Oh, now you treat me like somebody that I. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. For only $79.99. Oh, and you should have put $69.99. That would have been good. Oh, God, no. I'd never reply to a question like that. Yeah, yes. Kaylee, if I ever anybody ever comes into your chat and say, Kaylee, what's your sex life like? Just run. Just run. Because you know what the intention there. Anybody who's ever been lonely on a night and you're trying to like flirt with someone and you bring up someone's sex life, you know that it's time to like maybe be like, oh, okay, maybe reel it in there, pal.
This person to the fact that they were being recorded. Note, it is a felony to record sex acts without consent in the state of Florida.
Who was the other person we did a video on with voyeurism? Derek Ross. Do you guys remember Derek Ross?
So to recap, Destiny, who has a long history of threatening associates, friends, and family with public humiliation and exposure through releasing revenge pornography and intimate messages, actually did leak a tremendous quantity of compromising, sexually humiliating messages, images, and videos featuring other people to at least one person without their consent. These were then publicly leaked, and the reaction has been total silence, nothing. Historically, Destiny has always been boldly willing to threaten leaking private intimate material, such as during his separation from his wife, or to expose nude images to retaliate against women he was slandering, like Anna, or even just for the sheer pleasure of it, as in the case of Blue Tea mentioned earlier, where the only purpose was revenge. This time, however, somehow, there is nothing. Not by Destiny, nor by anybody else. No streams, no video exposés, no tweets by any notable figures denouncing what is an obvious massive breach in ethics and consent.
Dude, the whole internet's talking about it today. Calm down. Calm down, Mr. Sunday.
Nothing. Which begs the question, why?
I believe Nick Diorio's phone calls.
Why is everyone
in
being
here
so silent about something that by all rights should be a massive sex and abuse scandal about one of online politics' biggest and most controversial figures? As I said at the beginning of this video, this is not just a story about
Needless to say, I don't think that Destiny's going to be on Piers Morgan anytime soon.
A man, but about power and how power works. And it's not a story that is new. At the center of the scandal is a concerted effort by Destiny's friends, associates, and community to conceal and hide his wrongdoings by any and all means. This includes deleting any mentions of the leaks on Discord and Reddit, obfuscating the issue by acting as if the leaks only contain private sexual behaviors and
Do you think he had sex with that girl sitting next to him? My guess is yep.
Therefore aren't anyone else's business.
He got the fresh cut. He knew where he was going.
Or even offering money to the victims in exchange for their silence. Now, if one were to say that the creators around Destiny were simply remaining silent about this scandal in order to continue to capitalize on their friendship with Destiny and have access to his audience, this would be a misleading oversimplification.
Oh, Turkey Tom getting called out. The Turkish Tom is getting called out live in this video.
Some people are doing that for sure, and some people in fact are even going out of their way to run interference to protect Destiny from the consequences of his actions. But this is not a story about the nefarious deeds of evil men and women, but about power. And it turns out that in fact a lot of people are simply afraid. Afraid of what they have a moral right or a public sanction to say given the sensitive nature of these leaks, and afraid of the retribution of Destiny and those in his audience.
See, I don't think I ever could do this. If I saw, I'm not wired that way. If I see something wrong, I gotta say something because I won't be able to sleep. If I were to sit here and sweep for someone, like truly, if I truly thought somebody was guilty of something and I was worried about losing their friendship or something, I don't think that I could keep it to myself. Unless it was like there was a victim involved that they didn't want anything said, maybe I would have no choice just for the victim. But I'm not wired that way. I would definitely cut off whoever the person was, but I can't, I'm not wired that way. I just have to say, like, I have to speak the way I feel, you know? I can't water that shit down. It's a curse. It's a gift. I don't know. It pisses a lot of people off. Y'all know that. Anybody who's seen my Ethan Online stuff, it pisses a lot of people off that I try to stay true to what I actually believe. But not only one, do I feel like I owe it to y'all who confide in me and believe that I'm going to do that to you and always give you that genuine, like, the stuff that I have. I can't lie about that shit. You know what I'm saying? As someone who grew up, struggle with drug addiction, if I start lying, that I feel like I'm relapsing again. Because I lied so much when I was doing drugs that I just can't do that. I have to speak the truth. I get myself in trouble with Miss Lately all the time. When she's like, do you love this dress? And I'm like, eh. And I know she hates hearing it, but like I just cannot lie. I'm brutally honest. I can't help it. Mackenzie says, am I stupid? I just realized his art is a homage to the Lincoln Memorial because his name is President Sunday. Maybe. I'm not up to date on my Lincoln knowledge, but it's possible. I mean, there's definitely got to be some political reason here. Kayla says, yeah, I don't understand I don't. Well, I don't think Tom will be sweeping for Destiny anytime soon. I sure hope not. Yeah, I know he put out a live stream, but it's like an hour and a half long, and I don't think that we'll be able to get to him tonight because there's still so much more we got to cover, like Nick the Oreo and stuff in this.
If they say something that angers him. A very large creator in YouTube commentary,
Speak of the devil,
Oreo, disgusted at the obvious sexual abuse and public coercion he was witnessing coming from Destiny and his defenders, and frustrated by the fact that people were beginning to lump him in with the others who were actively covering for Destiny, reached out to me directly to clarify why he was not being more vocal.
Oh shit, guys. This is like the who's who of current commentary right here. I feel like Willie Mack will say something about it. I don't think that he would sweep. I don't think he cares. I think he'd probably be honest. I hope so anyway. But all EG, that was actually sweet as hell. I'm the same way. My panic disorder takes over. I just can't lie. I feel, yes, it's it. I feel panic. I feel anxiety if I start lying. I just gotta be brutally honest. Sometimes I could be stupid, guys. You know that. I own it. But even the smartest people in the world can end up being stupid sometimes. You know, it's just the human condition.
He told me that, due to the sensitive nature of the material, despite being very confident about Destiny's guilt, he was very conflicted about coming forward against Destiny on behalf of the victims in this story without them voluntarily coming forward first. This was for two reasons. First, Destiny has a history of persuading his victims to come to his defense during a scandal. This happened once when a creator called Mr. Girl infamously attempted to accuse Destiny of lying about his relationship with Anne of War, and in response, Destiny produced recent DMs between...
Oh, Moreau W, because he always vouches for Mr. Girl. Anne of War, keep this private, okay, please, because Max scares the shit out of me. You need to keep this private. He's insanely manipulative. Like, holy shit, the amount of coercion he was putting on me to send him a screenshot of our sexting was insane. It's like nothing I've ever experienced before. Destiny, yeah, I know. He's got you and Lab twisted into this idea that I'm running around sexually manipulating and abusing people on my stream. No, you don't do it on your stream. You just do it off your stream, you piece of shit. Anne of War, he has Lav totally manipulated. I don't think you're sexually manipulating it. Oh my god, this must be when she was still like under his thumb. I think when you called Lav a stupid bitch, that was a bit abusive, but not in the way Max is making it out to be, like you're this intentionally sadistic psycho. Yes, he is a sadistic psycho, Anna Navarre, and I think you probably realize that now, but maybe at this time you didn't. At least I hope not.
Between himself and Anna, in which he got her to say that her own quoted claims against Destiny were false. And here it is notable that the fact that these DMs were between the alleged abuser and his victim did not seem to affect their credibility in the eyes of his audience. And second, because of Destiny's ability to use his hold over his massive audience to deal serious reputational and financial damage to people who he feels have slighted him. Nicholas refers explicitly here to the reputational damage Destiny inflicted on another commentary YouTuber called Chudlogic when he was approached by Destiny's now ex-wife Melina to give her side of the story about the Lawrence Southern affair.
So, I mean, I've privately told everybody I'm completely distancing myself from this guy, waiting for this bomb to go off, but I don't want to be the one to fucking light it. But, I mean, I feel stupid. I sent Destiny, like, a message of support at the beginning of this, like, about his dick getting leaked, not about...
Oh, God, Nick, why? Why, Nick? Why would you do such a thing? Maybe Tipster's been right this whole time. Maybe he's the only one who's been true this whole time. Everybody else has been wrong. Hey, man, it's Nicholas Diorio here. I just wanted to say sorry that your wiener got leaked to the internet. Offer of sympathy during these trying times. Come on, dude. Bro, sorry your penis got leaked to the internet. It's tough for anybody, man. It's a tough route, bro. Tough route.
This part of it. Like, oh, it's a shame that your dick got leaked or whatever, which I guess is still valid.
I didn't realize how bad it was initially. I thought the big thing was the Lawrence Southern leaks. I thought, oh, he's got sex tapes. Okay, surprise, surprise.
Well, in the back of my head, I was thinking, why would all these people consent to their fucking nudes being exchanged?
Well, the answer
why would that even happen? They would absolutely not. They absolutely wouldn't. Yeah. And it's like, and I haven't really been able to talk about this with anybody because I'm not like a fucking. It's a huge risk to even discuss it.
I'm disappointed, Nick. I mean, I get that he didn't want to like put out people's names or victims, but he could have easily made a video not naming anybody and saying this is what I see going on. He does have Destiny as part of his TTS, you know. Maybe that's why he removed Destiny as part of his TTS. Ew, leaky wiener. Ew. Yeah, sorry your leaky wiener got put on the internet.
Because this guy's got such a chokehold over his community. But I legitimately think if it ever comes up, I absolutely think that's career ending. And I don't think that could be defended. And if it can be defended by his community, it would fucking completely destroy. I mean, yeah, his reputation's in the toilet. It could be lower.
It could be. It's also, it's in the toilet with people who care to know.
Yeah, no, I think this is a viral everyone story, video, like community-wide story if this cover-up ever comes out.
What specifically would have to happen to trigger some kind of, determinate position on this in public for you?
I mean, I'll be super candid about it. You would need to talk.
Yeah, would you have to talk publicly? Or do you just see it?
No, I think I've already seen it. I think she needs to talk publicly because if anything, if it comes down to it and Destiny convinces
I think Nick had to know that this was going to come out at some point. Nick's not that stupid.
her privately to take that other. Look what happened with Chud Logic and Lauren Southern. He had Melina coming to him and telling him these things directly, and he was put in a position where he can either eat shit and be hated by that community and lose a huge percentage of his audience to the point where I had to pick up the other half of the slack and like help him out, right, to keep him afloat, or he could just leak those messages and be justified immediately, and it would start like a huge conflict. And he did, I guess, he did the right thing by loyalty, but like, you know what I mean? It's like if you don't have the person, then it's you fighting on behalf of somebody else. And I've seen this go down so many times with content creators where if they don't have the support of the actual victim in the situation, you're fighting a losing battle from day one.
I can understand why Chud did what he did.
So principally, your concern is that you're going to take a financial/audience hit if you were to.
Well, I think there's a genuine risk that I'm going to get left out to dry here, because if she doesn't say anything, or even worse, if she comes out and says it's not true, then I'm fucked.
A lot of people who would otherwise potentially be ready to support the victims of Destiny's systemic abuse of female and male colleagues are stuck between wanting to call foul on some truly reprehensible behavior and the realization that if they did, there are so many ways to spin them as the villains through Destiny's further manipulation of the victims and of his massive following. Two particularly aggressive defenders of Destiny have been Not So Erudite and Dan Saltman, who are both.
Oh, so that's the girl he's been sitting next to. I'm sure he's banging her too. But yeah, this whole thing is wild, dude. Like, why does Destiny keep finding himself around all these women?
Both colleagues and close members of his inner circle. Both have gone out of their way either to dissuade attempts to bring up the issue of Destiny's non-consensual sharing of intimate material of other people publicly, or to directly discourage his victims from speaking out or taking legal action. A major consequence of Destiny's silence and the silence of the people around him on this issue is that all of the negative consequences for these leaks have been borne by the victims, who are still being publicly shamed and harassed as I speak. However, faux concern for their well-being and their wishes to remain as anonymous and private as possible has been used to shut down any discussion where Destiny might be held responsible for endangering them in the first place. The perverse result is that Destiny's crimes against these people are effectively being weaponized as their own defense against others who would call him out for them. For example, when one community member known as Fairy Queen questioned Not So Erudite's continued association with Destiny, given the revelation that he had been sharing porn of people he streams with without their consent, and given Not So Erudite's own avowals of being a mental health expert and a feminist, Not So Erudite claimed that she was in communication with the victims behind the scenes and that they didn't want any additional attention. And so therefore, Not So Erudite was actually doing the moral thing by not holding Destiny accountable for victimizing them in the first place and for personally continuing to profit from the reputation of Destiny by whom she was employed.
Yeah, she just wants the money. She wants the money. That's it. It comes down to money. Gotcha. I'm not an extension of Steven. You're not a feminist.
Pressed on this, Not So Erudite promptly terminated the conversation.
Wow. This message cannot be delivered. This usually because you don't share a server with that recipient, or the recipient is only just accepting direct messages from friends. You can see the full list of reasons here. You could be blocked.
But it turns out that Not So Erudite was telling the truth when she said she was communicating on behalf of the victims, because as it turns out, she was from very early on the primary middleman negotiating the price of their silence.
Wow, she was like Jelaine Maxwell for Destiny. You're never gonna have to pay for another thing again, honey. Just don't come forward with this, or else you're done.
Enter Pixie.
Definitely hunts
Pixie
vulnerable women.
Is a tiny streamer who, like Destiny's wife Melina, was visually identifiable in the leaks. Pixie had been working closely with Destiny since she turned 20 years old in 2019, and in addition to appearing on stream together regularly, Destiny also got her involved in paid positions organizing for canvassing projects, like with Progressive Victory, who he partnered with in 2024, and she would accompany him multiple times to large podcast appearances such as the Whatever podcast, which he would pay for her to be flown out to.
In this situation right here, do you think Melina knows that Destiny was boofing her? I wonder how many girls at this table Destiny boofed. Probably the majority of them. And look, he's literally got a freaking Game Boy sitting here in front of him. Look, he's thinking about it right now. Which one of these women am I going to take home later? And Melina's like, please, someone, take me out now. Please take me out.
Pixie had for a very long time repeatedly tried to present herself as an example of a woman who could succeed as a part of Destiny's orbit without being a member of his oft-rumored harem of women who offer him sexual favors in exchange for exposure and stream time. In light of these leaks, that image has obviously been shattered.
I'm just going to read this real quick. Pixie says, why would you lie about me sleeping with Destiny? Was there anything I said that gave you that idea? I'm not going to lie. I'm supremely pissed right now and just want to make a final good faith attempt at trying to figure out where your head is at before I explode. Femoid says, oh, I didn't mean to lie. I thought it was public. I can't rewrite the record. I apologize. I thought you guys had a public relationship. Pixie, no, I never did anything with Steven. The most he's ever sent me was like a hot emoji, and I've gotten that from plenty of men and women. That's why I want to know who would tell you that so I can confront them. And if you got me confused with someone else, maybe. Dude, this has "you got me caught" written all over it. No, I didn't do anything with Steven. The most he's ever sent me was like a hot emoji. I've gotten that from plenty of men and women. That's why I just want to know who you would have heard that from, because I'm just really concerned. That's all. Like, the minute someone starts saying, "I just want to know who told you that," so that they can go, "How did you hear that?" So that they can get to find out whether or not Destiny was behind actually saying it or not. That's all it comes down to. Now everyone involved is in this booth. Yes, everybody been boofed in this story. Femoid, I think I may have. I'm really sorry. I just publicly said I was wrong. Seriously, I'm so sorry. No, you were not wrong, Femoid. It turns out that Pixie was just lying to you, unfortunately. But again, she probably didn't want to lose her, cash cow or the family and friends that she's made by that getting out. The only reason I think she felt like she was getting respect is because she didn't sleep with Destiny, right? I think it's pretty obvious now. If you want to be a girl around him, you gotta, Harvey Weinstein him. Quid pro quo, as Mackenzie said earlier. It's hilarious how he goes after Trump for his sexual past when he's probably worse. Oh, he blows Trump out of the water, Kaylee. Now, and I'm sure Trump is not innocent. I'm sure, the guy being in Hollywood he's probably done some shady things in the past, but I can't imagine it was ever this level. Like, it's Stormy Daniels stuff, DSB says, "I missed getting boofed."
And she has received the brunt of negative reactions to the scandal, since people who hate Destiny and hate the politics of the people in his group are eager to laugh at the hypocrisy of one of them, even if it means joining in the mass harassment of someone who is in fact a victim of revenge porn. Unfortunately, Pixie did the worst thing that someone in her position could do. Rather than seek legal recourse or make a public statement denouncing the violation of her consent and dignity that these leaks represented, she seems to have ultimately chosen to try and profit from the situation by extorting Destiny. An American citizen who finds themselves a victim of revenge pornography has several valid actions they can take. Let's go over 3. First, they can seek legal recourse. In fact, there's a federal law on the books as of 2022 that allows victims of non-consensual exchanging of explicit material to be compensated up to $150,000, and that's
Wow. Yeah, it definitely feels like she should have just went straight to the police. Should have went straight to the authority the minute this was happening, especially knowing that there was other victims out there and there could be more. Unfortunately, given the amount of times that sometimes girls use this as a weapon as opposed to it actually happening, I can understand why she might have felt hesitant about this. She probably felt like, Destiny's community would have just turned on her and been like, called her a liar or something like that. It makes perfect sense,
Even if the leaks were not necessarily done maliciously, but only with reckless disregard for the consent of the victims may even have their identity concealed. Second, they may make a public statement denouncing the person who leaked the materials and violated their consent. And in fact, this can be done in conjunction with the first option I mentioned. And finally, they can choose to do nothing. They can stay silent and hope that it all blows over. And this is their right. But Pixie did not do any of these. In an exchange that I have learned has since been circulated among the
Do not define boofed, DSB. Don't you dare.
entire commentary community on YouTube and virtually everyone in Destiny's circle, Not So Erudite can be seen haggling with Pixie over the amount of money that would be appropriate for Destiny to pay her to not involve the court system or to denounce him publicly. First, Pixie uses the implicit threat of her impending suicide and a scheduled note announcing it to pressure Destiny to pay out a significant sum of money, and then later switches to vague threats of public denunciations and legal action.
Yeah, this is... Unfortunately, this is not a good look for Pixie. Boofed means, like, humped, Kaylee.
Meanwhile, behind the scenes, her friend Straightraid was colluding to advise...
And if it didn't before I said it, it does now.
Destiny to offer to help her financially as penance to stave off her threats of self-harm. A situation that would obviously be a reputational disaster for Destiny. Note, Straightraid has also explicitly said that she did not consider the situation serious enough to warrant a wellness check. As revealed in earlier DMs between Pixie and Destiny prior to this conversation with Not So Erudite, Pixie and her friend Straightraid had used the specter of her impending suicide to alarm Destiny enough that he would be receptive to suggestions of financial compensation. Apparently, Pixie was hopeful from the beginning that she could get as much as a $1 million payout from Destiny, which Straightraid had to repeatedly talk her down from.
Oh my god, what a piece of shit Straightraid is. These were messages Kyla and Pixie exchanged on 12/18. Kyla was telling Pixie that she wanted to talk to Steven IRL about the whole ordeal, but then scheduling issues prevented the conversation. She also says every time she's tried to ask for details via message, he's not engaged, but I think that that's a lie, obviously. And for context, Pixie wanted to sue for a lot of money, literally $1 million, but I told her that amount isn't realistic. Why not? Why not? Destiny's got it. Destiny's got $1 million. She wants to ruin him. And it makes sense because he's ruined her. Why not? I could definitely see a judge being like, listen, I'm not trying to be greedy. This could all go, because I think at one point she said it could all go to charity or something. But then again, if it all goes to charity, get tax breaks for that. We're touching a spicy meatball tonight.
The condition of this financial compensation is, of course, Pixie's continued silence. This would seem to imply that Pixie's decision to not go public is not because she is afraid of the repercussions, or else she wouldn't be threatening Destiny directly with legal action or public denunciations, but because she wants to profit personally off of extorting Destiny, who also, it must be remembered, is a victim of revenge porn. Destiny may be the one responsible for the leaker having the images in the first place, but he shared them recklessly, not maliciously. And of course, he has endured public humiliation as well for this. Destiny's close friend and podcast co-host Dan Saltman, the CEO of Redact, had also reportedly gone behind Destiny's back to advise Pixie to make financial demands of Destiny, as well as to ask her to dissuade Destiny from taking legal action against Kiwi Farms for hosting the leaks.
Yeah, because then if they did a lawsuit with Kiwi Farms, guess what? Then that is all that stuff's gonna come out. I don't think it's going to bode well for you in your favor. If you think that you're going to come out of this smelling good or looking good, you're crazy. See, that just goes to show you just how crazy Destiny is. To think that he actually believed that suing Kiwi Farms was going to be a good move for him and that he did nothing wrong. Just shows you how ill and how crazy his mind actually is.
Pixie has since said nothing publicly. There has been no evidence of legal proceedings being pursued, and she has seemingly ceased communications with the people she was previously working with, instead posting on X about taking the LSAT in pursuit of law school. It appears as though her attempt to extort Destiny has probably paid off.
Yeah, I love it. I come back on Twitch, and what do we cover? A revenge corn episode.
Albeit at the expense of every other person Destiny has victimized in the past and will victimize in the future. Destiny seeks out vulnerable women in his community who are enamored by his fame and success. He engages them intimately and records the interactions. Then he hoards these recordings and he shares them with reckless abandon. Even occasionally,
I would not want to pick a fight with Kiwi Farms. You also happened to Kaffels when she did that.
Threatening their release if the people in them do something to displease him. And when finally, the obvious result of recklessly sharing these intimate images with strangers occurs and they are publicly exposed for all to see to the detriment of these people's reputations, mental health, and safety, he is able to buy off his victims and use their purchased silence as moral ammunition to shut down anyone who would try to hold him accountable
money at
for what is clearly grossly unethical conduct.
Money can get you out of anything.
Destiny and the web he has created around himself is creating victims. And if it is allowed to continue, it will create more. I urge everyone to pay attention and to warn people about the danger they are putting themselves into by engaging with Destiny and his community. These are people who have been handpicked for their willingness to not just remain passive in the wake of intimate and potentially life-ruining abuse, but to also become accomplices in silencing the victims. And the victims are also selected, either for mental illness, allowing them to be easily construed as hysterical or deceptive when they complain about their treatment, or for financial vulnerability, allowing them to be easily paid off by Destiny for their silence.
Jesus.
Thanks to certain individuals revealing to me the extent to which people are knowingly allowing or even actively taking part in the system of abuse and cover-up, I have realized that by withholding what I know of the situation, I am playing directly into Destiny's game. Someone needs to break the chain, or people are going to continue to be hurt. I've left my full conversation with Nicholas DeOrio in the description of this video. As always, thank you for listening, and take care.
Oh, man. Yeah, this is crazy, dude. This whole story is absolutely nuts, man. This whole story is nuts.
EG lately standing for what's right.